Good morning. So I want to start by telling you a story about a 5-year-old child. Each day after school, this kindergarten child would wander around other people's yards and gardens with her imaginary friend, Jesus. This child had seen pictures of a brown-skinned man when she was in Sunday school. Jesus was often pictured with children and sheep. Have you seen the sheep on the altar? They were comforting pictures for this young lass, and she felt nurtured. So she took Jesus with her on her adventures. One afternoon, the child had such a joyous time picking beautiful blossoms of lilacs and forsythia and roses and irises. She headed home with her big bunch of flowers, presented it to her mom, who was waiting at the door. The mother had a frown on her face, looked at the child, and the girl started to cry. She knew a lecture was coming. And Mom said, "The neighbors have already called me, and they told me that you were in their flower gardens again." Fortunately, the flowers were placed in a vase. But as time went on, the papa realized that this little girl needed her own area for gardening. So he built her a flower garden where she could dig in the earth and grow her own flowers. This papa and daughter enjoyed planting things together, like even a peach tree and a magnolia tree. I guess we're not in Tucson with those trees. When the maternal grandma came to live in a cottage in the backyard, lilies of valley were grown, bleeding hearts, and more roses. The child was allowed to pick as many flowers as she wished, and she delighted in taking these flowers to her elementary school teachers. At age 12, the parents of this girl divorced. She and her mother moved away, and the house was sold. Fortunately, she had access to both of her parents most of her life, and she loved living with her father during the summers, because there was a deep soul and heart connection between this father and this daughter. The youngster often sought out soul family, found nurturance from parents of her friends. She was welcomed into Jewish families, Asian families, African American families, and of course, her father's big Italian family. This child learned early about differing beliefs and different cultures. She continued to adopt fairy godmoms and dads wherever she went, and today she has fairy godkids of her own, but is still adopting fairy godmothers. One sits over there. So this child has grown, but she hasn't stopped picking flowers in fields, woods, or gardens. Matter of fact, she carries some pruning shears in her glove compartment in her car, so she can stop by the side of the road. This free spirit grew up to become a teacher of young children. She even directed her own summer school on an island off of Cape Cod. The program was designed to give youngsters the opportunity to be in nature. She danced around ponds with children, picking flowers, of course, feeding ducks, singing songs, and swimming at the beach. Later, this young adult would be called to ordain ministry. And this changed her life drastically, much to everyone's surprise. She was led to theological school. Soon, this woman became one of the first female ministers to preach from the pulpit in her hometown, and that was quite controversial in those days. When in seminary in Boston, this person was still communing with nature, with her friend Jesus, But Jesus didn't seem so imaginary anymore. Jesus was embedded in her heart and her soul. There she was in her 30s at seminary, dancing on the grounds of the local seminary, under the moonlight, in her bare feet, the grass under her toes, communing with God. This adult spent a career of over 35 years shepherding others as a teacher, a counselor, a minister, spiritual director, hospice, and hospital chaplain. She survived many hardships, challenges, and oppression, but she still walks with her friend, Jesus. So do you know who this story is about? You get an extra root beer on Father's Day if you guess correctly. So yes, I stand before you today, perhaps a wise elder who has pioneered many fields, and a little bit quieter, a little bit more well-behaved. My parents are deceased now. My siblings are gone. The fairy godchildren that I have visit on occasion. My husband and my Labradors, that's my husband, not my Labrador, are by my side. And I've come a long way since Martha's Vineyard in Cape Cod, where having a female in the pulpit was really radical. Yes, Jesus continues to be my nurturer. You see, family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about God or Christ or Mother Nature. Families are the people in your life who want you in theirs. They are the ones who accept you as you are. The ones who will do just about anything to see you smile and who love you no matter what. Families come in all forms. And I want to show you my recent literature. Mommy, Mama, and me. Daddy, Papa, and me. The family book, all configurations of families, all colors. The International Gourmet Recipes by Joseph Tomesetti. How did that get in there? She Persisted, written by Chelsea Clinton. And there's some writing by Oprah Winfrey in this book. So yes, families come in all forms. And although it's Father's Day, I also like to call it Nurturer's Day. So what's your story? What's your background? Who pastored, shepherded, role modeled for you? Who's your spiritual teacher? Jesus or someone else? Was it a biological parent that helped you make it through? In honor of fathers, here are a few pictures that Dean's going to show you of Giuseppe Peppo Tomesetti. In English, this is Joseph. This is my papa in the Navy uniform. The Catholic Italian immigrant who married the Protestant Irish Scotch girl, all combined in me. I really am a blonde. See that blonde little girl sitting? And I have that rocking chair. He looks so nice in a tie and jacket. Giuseppe. My father owned a restaurant. He and I worked a restaurant together. And I began eating seafood at 5 years old. That is a good-sized lobster. There she is, young, beautiful. Jim would say something else on my Facebook, like you still are. You have a grandma's body now, he's been sick. And there are the boys. That's Uncle Jake, that's Tomesetti, my father, that's Danto and Gusto. Soul shepherding. So I definitely am a daddy's girl, and he definitely was my nurturer. So you might not know that we celebrate almost 100th anniversary of Father's Day. It was started by a woman named Sonora Dodd, who helped to found Father's Day in Spokane, Washington. Her father was a Civil War veteran named Jackson, and he became a single parent who raised 6 children on his own. Sonora heard a sermon about Mother's Day in a Methodist Episcopal church. It was 1909, and she told the pastor that fathers should have a similar holiday. The tradition was also influenced a couple of years earlier after there was a memorial service for a group of men who died in a mining accident in West Virginia. This was 1907. It was recorded that 361 men, 250 were fathers, 250 were fathers who were lost, and 1,000 children became fatherless. So this movement helped to recognize fathers, which continued over the years. And the push for Father's Day went around the country to many city councils. Maine Senator Margaret Chase Smith, who you might have heard of, was working on it in 1957. And so was Lyndon Johnson in the 60s. It was not until Richard Nixon finally signed it into a law in 1972. It is now on our calendars. An International Men's Day, also known as Father's Day, but International Men's Day is celebrated around the country. So I invite you to celebrate today in whatever way makes sense for you. I like to call it Nurturer's Day. There might have been a father, there might not. And if you would like to write your own story about who was your soul shepherd, please do. You can drop it off in the office, and I would love to read it. Blessings to all of you. Amen.